Imagine spending years working harder and harder to earn money, believing that one day financial peace will finally arrive, only to realize that no matter how much income increases, the feeling of being financially trapped never completely disappears. Many people assume this happens because of laziness, lack of intelligence, or poor discipline. But according to psychology, the truth is far more disturbing. Some people are not losing money because they are bad at earning. They are losing money because their emotions silently control their financial decisions without them even realizing it. And in modern society, where companies, advertisements, social media platforms, and even mobile apps are carefully engineered to manipulate human attention and emotion, resisting impulsive spending has become psychologically harder than ever before. In the book Thinking, Fast and Slow, psychologist Daniel Kahneman explains that humans operate using two mental systems. System 1 is fast, emotional, impulsive, and reactive, while System 2 is slow, logical, and analytical. The frightening reality is that most financial decisions happen inside System 1, especially when people are stressed, lonely, emotionally overwhelmed, or mentally exhausted. This means many people do not actually decide to waste money logically. Instead, their emotional brain temporarily takes control before rational thinking has enough time to intervene. That is why someone can promise themselves all month that they will save money, then suddenly buy something unnecessary during an emotional moment and regret it almost immediately afterward. This directly connects to another psychological principle discussed in Atomic Habits by James Clear. The book explains that behavior is often controlled not by motivation, but by repeated emotional habits and environmental triggers. People overspend because spending slowly becomes associated with comfort, reward, stress relief, or identity. Every time a person feels anxious and buys something to feel better, the brain learns to connect spending with emotional relief. Over time, this becomes automatic. Stress triggers desire, desire triggers spending, spending creates temporary dopamine relief, and the brain memorizes the pattern as a coping mechanism. Eventually, the person is no longer buying things because they need them. They are buying things because their brain has been conditioned to believe spending equals emotional escape. This becomes even more powerful because of dopamine. In the book Dopamine Nation, psychiatrist Anna Lemke explains that dopamine is not simply the chemical of happiness. It is more connected to craving, anticipation, and reward-seeking behavior. This explains why online shopping feels exciting before a purchase is even completed. Browsing products, imagining a better version of yourself, waiting for deliveries, and visualizing emotional satisfaction all stimulate dopamine activity. For a short moment, spending distracts people from stress, loneliness, boredom, or insecurity. But the emotional relief fades quickly because of a psychological process called hedonic adaptation, where the brain rapidly becomes accustomed to pleasure. The excitement disappears, and the brain starts searching for the next emotional reward again. In the book The Psychology of Money, author Morgan Housel explains that doing well with money has far more to do with behavior than intelligence. Many intelligent people remain financially unstable because humans constantly make money decisions based on emotion rather than logic. Fear, insecurity, ego, social comparison, and the desire for validation heavily influence spending behavior. Housel also explains that people often use money to impress others because humans naturally crave status and approval. This is why some individuals buy expensive things not because they truly need them, but because they want to appear successful. The emotional desire to look rich can become stronger than the logical desire to become financially secure. This psychological trap becomes even more dangerous in the age of social media. In the book The Status Game, writer Will Storr explains that human beings are deeply obsessed with status, because throughout evolution, status was connected to survival and belonging. Today, social media constantly exposes people to carefully edited lifestyles filled with luxury vacations, expensive gadgets, perfect apartments, and unrealistic success stories. Even when people consciously know much of it is exaggerated, the subconscious mind still reacts emotionally. According to social comparison theory, Humans naturally evaluate themselves by comparing their lives to others. Constant exposure to wealth and perfection slowly creates feelings of inadequacy and dissatisfaction. Many people begin spending money not because they genuinely need something, but because they subconsciously fear appearing behind compared to everyone else online. Psychology also shows that childhood experiences strongly shape adult financial behavior. In the book Mind Over Money, psychologists explain that many adults carry unconscious money scripts formed during childhood. A child raised in poverty may later become impulsive with money because deep down they fear scarcity. Someone raised in an emotionally unstable environment may use spending as self-comfort because purchases temporarily create feelings of control or safety. Others who lacked social acceptance during childhood may overspend on appearance or luxury items because their subconscious mind associates spending with validation and worthiness. This is why financial behavior is often more emotional and psychological than mathematical. Even stress itself changes financial behavior. In the book Scarcity, the authors explain that financial pressure traps the brain in short-term thinking. Stress reduces cognitive bandwidth, making people more impulsive and emotionally reactive. This creates a cycle where financial anxiety leads to impulsive decisions. Impulsive decisions create more financial problems, and those financial problems create even more stress. Eventually, the person becomes psychologically trapped inside survival mode. Modern society quietly makes this worse every day. Advertisements are carefully designed using behavioral psychology to manipulate human emotion, insecurity, and urgency. Flash sales, personalized ads, one-click purchases, and buy now, pay later systems all exist because companies understand that emotional people spend faster than logical people. Entire industries profit from impulsivity and emotional weakness. But psychology also offers something hopeful. Awareness changes behavior. The moment people begin understanding the emotional reasons behind their spending habits, impulsive behavior loses some of its power. In Atomic Habits, the idea is repeatedly emphasized that lasting change begins with awareness of automatic behavior. When someone pauses before buying something unnecessary and asks themselves, "What emotion am I trying to fix right now?" they begin shifting control away from impulsive emotion and back toward conscious decision-making. Many psychologists recommend delaying non-essential purchases for 24 hours because emotional urges weaken with time. Once emotional intensity fades, logical thinking becomes stronger. Ultimately, the psychology of people who cannot save money is not simply about irresponsibility. It is about dopamine addiction, emotional survival, stress, insecurity, social comparison, childhood conditioning, and the hidden psychological systems shaping human behavior every day. People often think money problems are financial problems, when in reality, many of them are emotional problems disguised as financial ones. So before you leave, ask yourself one honest question. Are you truly spending money because you need those things, or because your mind is searching for temporary emotional relief? The answer to that question may completely change the way you see your life. And if you recognized yourself somewhere in this video, then you're not alone. Most people never realize how deeply psychology controls their financial behavior. If this video changed the way you see money and human behavior, subscribe to YouTube and become part of Psychology Explained, where we uncover the hidden psychology behind emotion, habits, relationships, self-control, and the subconscious patterns silently controlling everyday life.